Hey guys, it's been forever since I videoed, and I just wanted to give you an update on stuff. As you can probably assume, we are not going to go to our second cycle treatment because of the medical issues that are going on with the coronavirus. So that's all I'm going to say about that. With that being said, it is a real letdown. I'm not the only woman. There are thousands of women nationwide, at least, that I know of, that I belong to groups on Facebook and Instagram that are scrambling and devastated. And that's just here in the US. As you know, we were going abroad to have our treatment, and I was still going to go, knowing I would be in a clinical environment, chatting back and forth with my doctors, and right up until Friday, I was going to go. And then the country we're going to for our treatment put an embargo on their visas until April 15th, which pushes me 2 weeks out beyond the original date, barring any surgery I might have to have for my fibroids or anything like that. And that's not a guaranteed definite date. They're just projecting to the 15th of April. The only thing I can say is that I so feel horrible for any sister of mine in journey that is trying to have a family and fulfill that part of her life, and this episode has prevented or is preventing that. I'm devastated, and I know there are a lot of other women that are devastated. I literally finished my last set of medications Thursday, so there's that. I don't know what the protocol is going to be going forward. It's nightmarish, to say the least. All the precautions in the world that we can take at home, most logical people are taking, and this being a virus, viruses have a natural life cycle. Each virus's life cycle is different. So the expectations of when it cycles through and burns itself out, it's just a matter of time. And my husband keeps reminding me to be patient and that it's a matter of time. And so I'm just grateful that China has, almost an 80% recovery rate right now. They had the largest affecting area in the world so far. And I think they're going to stand at that number with being the largest affected country. But it's still going to take the time that it takes. Right now, we're just trying to scramble and figure out what we're going to do about our airfare. I mean, I'm not the only one. There are millions of people worldwide trying to sort out their airfare, because of course the airlines are not in the business of giving people their money back. That's not going to happen. And after going directly to the corporate offices of the airline we chose to fly with, they were just like, listen, we can't even say what we're going to do. We don't know if we're going to keep waiving fees for changes. We don't know what date to put on as a deadline for changes. They really just don't know anything with regard to planning ahead for changing flights. They're like, we have a one change policy right now. If you change now, it's too early, because anything can happen in the landscape of travel and this whole global hysteria that's going on. So right now, my biggest goal for the next week is to just kind of wait and see what happens with travel, just so that we can tentatively plan our airfare and changes and let the rest fall where it may. So hopefully this mass hysteria about this virus mellows out, levels off, and everyone can get a grip on what's going on in their personal world. And if everyone gets a grip on what's going on in their personal world, gradually everyone around the world will get a grip on what's going on in their personal world, and to balance everything out. That's just the way I have to look at it, because right now I can't have yet another panic attack. And yes, I did have one a couple nights ago, just lost all my shit. And that's not like me losing it. Now, being upset, yes. Crying, yeah. But just like becoming unhinged, hopefully that will subside really quickly, because everyone around me, everyone in the world will kind of use their common sense and emotional brains and start to look at their personal spaces and how their personal spaces affect global spaces, and it'll mellow out. That's all I can hope for right now, because I mean, we're just pretty much chalking up all of this to a loss, chalking up the loss of the airline tickets, chalking up the loss of the medication, chalking up the loss of payment for treatment. It's laughable. But the bright side is my neighbors have a pool, and all the kids are out of school this week, apparently. So they're having a pool party, because where we are, the temperatures are right for kids getting in the pool. And I guess, what are you going to do when you have a house full of teenagers in a swimming pool and it's 75, 80 degrees every day? Let them go swimming. I wish I had more IVF, TTC, reproductive things to put into this video, but my head is so chock full of topics and information that have come across my radar and that I think about on a day-to-day basis. And I've been scribbling them out on notepads. And just as I got to the point where I'm like, okay, I can do this topic this week, this topic next week, and start to drill into those topics on pen and paper so that I have talking points, then all of this shit happens. And it just kind of blew all that out the water. So what I'm going to do today is something I've never really done, since I am done with talking about this cancel cycle, because I don't want to lose my shit again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you guys, what topics do you want me to talk on? And I'm going to give you a couple examples. So like, I got into kind of a tit for tat conversation on one of my social medias with some ladies, because a question was posed as to what age is a good age for you to tell your child that they were an egg donor baby, and at what age should you introduce your egg donor baby to its other egg donor siblings, wherever they may be in the country or the world. And my answer, based on my personal life and my family experience, is never. Unless it comes up as a medical necessity. And thank goodness we live in a time where modern medicine is where it is. Most everything can be handled through modern medicine if some type of medical emergency comes about. But my answer was simply never. Never is there an occasion where I personally feel there's a time to search out and introduce my child or children to other half siblings around the country or the world that they have no contact with, that have their own families and their own lives, and muddy the waters that way. And never is it a time for me to really dredge up the fact that he or she was an egg donor baby and make that the focal point of their growing up in existence. So for me, it was never. That got some Molly Moffats really pissed off with me. And I got really verbally abused about how insecure I was and how selfish I was for saying that, and that I was being dishonest to my child for not giving them all the information about their birth and conception. And, for me, it was just a matter of, on that point, I wouldn't tell my child that he or she was conceived in the backseat of a bar, or backseat of a car, in the back room of a bar, because mommy and daddy just were doing mommy and daddy things. Just some shit you just don't need to know. Some shit is just you got here and we're your parents and we love you and we're raising you to be an amazing human being. And barring any major medical genetic issues, which we will have to cross those bridges if we get to them, there's really no need to really add more complications and layers to lives that are already going to be complicated in layers just because we're human. So my question to you guys is, what topic? The topic of, do you tell your child that they were conceived through egg donation? Or the other topic of, do you tell your child and introduce your child to their half genetic siblings somewhere in the universe? So those are my two questions. Which one would you prefer me to talk about in depth and go into in a video dedicated specifically for that? So that's my question. And that's my update for now. Needless to say, I've got to make a huge decision as to whether I'm going to unpack all of my suitcases or if I'm just going to zip those damn things up and stick them in the fucking attic and just wait and pray I don't gain another 5 pounds and that the clothes that are in them actually fit. Yeah, I am feeling some kind of way right now. And I know I'm not alone in that. And for those of you who have been impacted by this pandemonium going on worldwide and who have had canceled cycles and who have had upheavals in their reproductive treatment, I am sincerely sympathetic and sorry for the stress and the anxiety and the pain and the hurt and the disappointment that you're suffering, because I don't have many lady friends that are going through this right now in my age group. I think I have 3 that I've met through my videos and through my social media, but beyond, and we live in different places and our lives are different. So it's not like that close knitness. So a lot of times I feel alone and isolated in this. And so I can imagine what my sisters in journey are going through, the ones of you who watch my videos and the ones of you who are on my social media. I can imagine what you're going through, and I am so heartsick for you. I'm heartsick for all of us, but understand that I feel you, and that, as my grandmother would say, this too shall pass. And where there's life, there's always hope. And as long as we keep breathing, there's always opportunity for another round and another way to make it happen. And I just wanted to say, from my heart to yours, stay healthy and stay positive and stay rational and stay grounded in common sense and lead with your heart in everything concerning this journey and this worldwide pandemonium that's going on. And I will get back probably by the weekend in another video, but definitely in the bottom, leave me some comments about which topic you want me to talk about. And if there's a topic I haven't even thought about, throw it in there and I'll look at it and I'll make a video about it, or we can have some kind of discussion or something. Okay, well, from my heart to yours again, stay safe and love you, love me. Bye.